Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to practice Python conditions, comparison operators, logical operators, all of that. I prepared Google Colab notebooks with exercises, and they're all linked in the description below, so make sure to check that out. The idea is simple. I'll walk you through each exercise, explain my thought process, and show you how to build clean and readable conditional statements in Python. Whether you're just starting out or looking to sharpen your skills, there should be something for you. All right, let's not waste any more time and jump straight into the first exercise. All right, quick recap before we start. A condition in Python checks if something is true or false. That's the core idea. To act on that result, we use three keywords: if, elif, and else. If is mandatory. The other two are optional. You only add them when you need to. For comparisons, we have double equals for equality, exclamation mark equals for different, and then lower than, greater than, lower or equal, greater or equal. And if you need to combine multiple conditions, you use and or not. One last thing, indentation. For spaces inside every block, no exceptions. Otherwise, Python throws an error. All right, that's all we need. Let's jump into the first exercise. All right, exercise 1. Simple one to warm up. We ask the user for a number, convert it to a float, and print whether it's positive, negative, or 0. So first we use input to get the number, and we wrap it directly inside float to convert it straight away. Then it's a classic if, elif, else structure. If the number is greater than 0, positive. If it's lower than 0, negative. And if neither of those are true, it can only be 0, so we use else. We test it with 43, and we get the number is positive. Perfect. Works exactly as expected. Exercise 2. We ask the user for an integer this time, so we convert with int instead of float. The key here is the modulo operator, the percent sign. Number modulo 2 gives you the remainder of the division by 2. If that remainder equals 0, the number is even. Otherwise, it's odd. So a simple if-else is enough here. No need for elif. We test with 17 and get the number is odd. Correct. Let's move on. Exercise 3. Access control. Super straightforward. We ask for the user's age, and if it's greater or equal to 18, we print access granted. Otherwise, access denied. Just a simple if, else, one condition done. We test with 23 and get access granted. Perfect. Next. Exercise 4. Grade classification. We ask the user for a grade between 0 and 100, and we print a category depending on the result. Now, the interesting thing here is how we structure the elif chain. We start by checking if the grade is greater or equal to 90. Excellent. Then greater or equal to 70. Good. Then greater or equal to 50. Average. And everything below falls into the else, failing. Notice that we don't need to write something like between 70 and 89 explicitly, because Python goes through the conditions from top to bottom and stops at the first one that's true. That top to bottom logic is something really important to understand. You'll use it all the time. We test with 87.5 and get good. Exactly right. Let's keep going. Exercise 5. Login system. This is where we introduce the AND operator for the first time. So we store a correct username and a correct password directly in two variables. Here, admin and 1234. Then we ask the user to enter both. The condition is if the username matches and the password matches. Only then we print login successful. If either one is wrong, we fall into the else and print wrong username or password. Notice we don't tell the user which one is wrong. That's actually intentional. It's a basic security practice. The key thing to remember with and every single condition must be true at the same time. If just one of them fails, the whole condition is false, and we go straight to the else. Here we test with the right username, admin, but the wrong password, 4321, instead of 1234. And since both need to match, we get wrong username or password. Exercise 6, biggest of 3 numbers. We ask the user for 3 numbers, convert them all to floats, and print which one is the biggest. Now this one is a good example of combining and inside conditions. To check if I is the biggest, it's not enough to just compare it to B. We need to make sure it's also bigger than or equal to C. So we write, if I is greater or equal to B and I is greater or equal to C, then is the biggest. Same logic for B in the elif, greater or equal to I and greater or equal to C. And if neither nor B1, then C must be the biggest, so we just use else. Notice we use greater or equal and not just greater than. That way we also handle cases where 2 numbers are equal. We test with 43, 99, and 76, and we get the biggest number is 99.0. The 0.0 is there because we converted a float. That's completely normal. Last exercise for this notebook, a small combined exercise that brings everything together. We ask the user for their name and age, and we print a sentence depending on how old they are. So we have 3 categories: child, teenager, or adult. If the age is under 13, we print the name followed by is a child. If it's under 18, is a teenager. And everything else is an adult with else. Again, notice the same top-to-bottom logic we saw in exercise 4. When we reach the elif, checking under 18, we already know the age is 13 or above. Python already eliminated that for us. So we don't need to write between 13 and 17 explicitly. Then outside of the if block entirely, we have one last print, welcome name. Because it's not indented, it runs no matter what category the user falls into. We test with Theo, age 23. We get Theo is an adult, and then welcome Theo right after. Works perfectly. All right, that's it for this video. I hope these exercises helped you get more comfortable with conditions in Python. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. It really means a lot, and it helps the channel grow more than you think. And don't forget, all the Google Colab notebooks are linked in the description of this video, so you can practice on your own. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you in the next one.